Do we want to unmute the mic? Thank you. What's up, everybody? Midday with Moss starting out right now. We have a lot of great people today. Start off with my co-host, Mike the Bloomy Bloomfield. You're a little late with your cuts.
I know. What happened was I did the original cut and I changed the branding because I realized it wasn't the PISP and it kicked off the overlay.
Yeah, it happens.
It happens.
And we have Christina with us too, no?
She's here.
Hey everyone, happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Wow, this week went fast, huh?
And you know who we don't have?
Shocker.
Todd.
He is doing more videos for the SI event. Like, I have to do some of these things. I'm like, what time we meet? 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. He's like, oh, we're technically off on Fridays.
Gotham, I guess, is right.
It is what it is. And we have a great guest today, Mike. Tell us a little bit about our guest.
So we have in the green room Kevin McKernan. So most business owners on Staten Island would know Kevin McKernan. We'll bring him. You always see him around. He loves to crash a nice networking event, a nice gala. Let's bring him in. Right? What's up, Kevin?
Good. How's everybody today?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Well, we're coping as best as everybody can in these interesting times.
So,
Sure.
I always joke because we see you every event, right? You're always there. If there's a networking event, Kevin's there. You're like me. You like to be out, be around the network. How does it feel to be? You can't do that. No,
you can't. It's difficult, but I think this is one of the challenges we're all going to have to face. Networking is going to be more like this than it has been, person to person, and one has to adapt. But you miss seeing people. You really do. There's nothing like just talking and meeting people. There's a better connection, but face to face. But that's not going to happen for a long time now.
What are you thinking? How long do you think we're going to be like this?
That's above my pay grade, but I think there's probably not going to be public events or networking events like we used to towards the end of the year. I think that a couple of reasons. One, the safety, and I think an organization be very, very careful about sponsoring an event, inviting a number of people to it. Someone gets ill and they trace it back to that event. Is there any liability on the sponsors?
And could that happen? Could they, like, Moss, from an event point, can liability go if you sponsor an event and someone gets sick at your event?
I have no idea.
Have you ever had that? Like, I guess if someone's at an event and they fall at a gala, can they go back to the sponsors?
Well, the host and hostess, typically, and Kevin being an attorney,
yeah.
Typically, if somebody falls at an event, everybody gets dragged into the lawsuit. The host, the hostess, the entertainment company, the videographer, the catering hall, and when they just, I guess the personal injury attorneys throw the net out, and everybody starts to pass the buck and see who's really at fault. No, Kev?
Yeah, that's true. You generally, it's not my specialty, personal injury, but this is even something different. If you decide not to follow whatever guidelines are still in place, then the event sponsors and the people could be liable. If the government says you're not supposed to have a group of over 20 people or 30 people and there's 50 people there, then you could end up being responsible. It is a brave new world we're entering into, and we don't know yet. We don't even know when we're going to be able to open up.
I know. May 15th, right? He extended it yesterday kind of during our show. And so May 15th is the New York pause. And then President Trump last night went and did his 3-phase guideline, kind of put that out. But the one thing from that is it's up to the governors, right? So now the governors have the power like they did anyway a week ago. And they have the power, and their recommended guidelines to follow. So I know New York and our band kind of, what was it? I think Homo has 8 or 9 states, right? Working together collectively, all on the East Coast. It's May 15th right now is where we're extended to. Has any governors came out today and said they're opening?
Well, the governor of Texas just a few minutes ago said that they're going to try a little bit of an opening for parks next week, but it's going to be in no more crowds than 5, social distancing. And see, what's troubling though is seeing some of these states that haven't had a stay down order. All of a sudden, the rural areas are experiencing a spike in these cases now. North Dakota, Iowa. This is a virus that is so infectious that we're not sure, or the experts aren't even sure on how it's communicated. So I think May 15th, I think what the governors are trying to do is say, all right, every 2 weeks we're going to examine it. I don't think May 15th we're going to go right into everything's open. This was shut down, planned, 50%, 25% down to 0% of employees allowed. And I think the opening is going to be the same. One of the things to really has got to be done, if you're going to try to open up the city, public transportation has got to be up to stuff. It's impossible to have social distancing on a subway car.
Right. And we're seeing that now. There's still photos coming from like people on the subway where subway's packed and people on masks on top of each other. And I think yesterday there was the article, I guess they're finally putting the plastic up by the bus drivers on buses. Because if you think about it, right, you're a bus driver, everyone walks right past you.
Well, they're now having people enter and leave through the rear of the back door.
Well, how do they pay then? Or is it free?
Well, I think the city is less concerned about paying and losing a few dollars per fare than they are of losing bus drivers. A number of transit employees have, unfortunately, have tested positive, and a number of them have died. Right. Of illnesses related to that. And they need to have some measure of safety. This economy, in my opinion, is not going to start again until people feel safe. You can open up movie theaters, bars, restaurants, but if people don't feel safe in going to those places, they're not going to go.
Right. And I was surprised on the president's guidelines. I think in phase 2, which was, I think, 14 days after no kind of new case increase, he was saying that movie theaters and restaurants and bars, I think, could open back up. I was a little surprised that he had movie theaters listed there, But he had a limit, I think, though. I think it was there was a limit to how the capacity, but still, I was surprised that so quick those would be back.
And the problem with a leveling off is that if it's a high level off, if it's still 500 new cases a day, it could still be leveling off, but that's still a lot of cases in the county. So who knows? But, it's one of the things businesses have got to start to, how are they operating right now? And then how do they plan to reopen? And all the new guidelines because once we reopen doesn't mean the virus has gone away. You still could get employees sick from the virus.
Right. And that comes back to the old, how do you, I've even had the discussion with my employees, in terms of if just because it's time to reopen, I might still have as a contingency plan, us not go back in the office or maybe full staff, because it's a contingency, right? If 3 of my technicians sit within an office together, one of us gets sick and we don't know and we make everyone else sick, how am I supposed to help my clients if we're all out at once?
I think that's correct. And I think what businesses are going to have to do is they're going to have to provide a setting that there is enough hand sanitizer, there's enough that the office is cleaned professionally or whatever, better than or quicker than what it has been. I think you're going to see a lot of staffing, flex staffing. And because, you know what, if an employee gets sick because of this, or even if they're forced to quarantine, that's still the business owner's responsibility to pay them under the new statutes that the feds, the state, and the city have provided.
Right.
And that's not even getting sick. If they're under a quarantine order from a doctor or from anybody else, you're going to have to pay them. And, you know, that ends up being expensive.
And is it now, what is it, a tax credit you giving, or?
Yeah, you get some type of credit for it, but businesses have to operate, and
Right.
it's at the back end to next year, and who knows what next year is going to bring. So I think the thing is to when you reopen, you know, that you do it gradually and see how it would work out.
Right. And talk about the new normal. I talk about this all the time as a joking, but this is totally me at the supermarket. It's like a real life game of Pac-Man. I just run away from people and try to get everything I can. So Nicole shared that to me today, but and I didn't realize because I stopped going to Stop and Shop. I go to a supermarket that's a little emptier. I'm not going to name it here because I don't want it to get crowded. I need my place. But someone told me that Stop and Shop has finally started doing one-way lanes. So they actually put arrows on the aisles.
Really?
Yeah, that you are now supposed to go so you don't actually come face to face with somebody.
Well, the 3D studies show that how far a dry cough, the germs and the dry cough, that's one of the signature things of this virus, how far it goes, not only down the aisle, over an aisle, and everything. And we don't know how close a contact it needs to be to get infected. So it's going to be a very dangerous thing. And again, you know, insofar as I was surprised too in the guidelines, how quickly restaurants were going to be opened. You know, and restaurants are going to have to change too. The menu is going to be thrown out. It's not going to be just wiped or anything. They're going to have disposable menu.
Paper, yeah.
Right, and then
or digital on a wall or something like.
Right, digital, paper. You know, the ability for people might not feel comfortable to sit so close. Right, you go to some restaurants and tables, and I saw it. Love Earth reopened.
We never closed.
I thought you did make a decision to close at one point.
No, we changed our way of doing business, but we never closed the doors.
Okay, so for some reason I thought you had made the decision to close at one point, and then I started seeing a whole bunch of advertising, takeout, and different things they were doing recently. I was like, oh, they reopened. So you never closed.
We never closed. We had to lay off most of our staff. I mean, our partners there are predominantly just kind of doing a little bit of everything, and just weathering the storm. You know, streamline the menu, do the best they can, but. No, we're definitely open, and it's definitely if somebody wants a different type of option, you know, even though it's vegan and allergy friendly, it's very, very, very good. I mean, we order it once a week. I don't ask them to come here to
do you pay?
I do pay.
You own the place. You don't have to pay.
If we order in, I pay. If I'm there and I have a burger, I don't pay.
So, yeah, and Denise says cleaning companies are offering disinfecting services for offices. And there's Clorox makes a $6,000 machine that basically just missed out Clorox.
I think the Hilton has it.
Do they have it? And it's
I'm almost positive they purchased a machine to do disinfecting. So
you should purchase a few. There you go. That holds you over. He's like, I've already have. They're probably already there, sitting, waiting to go.
So it's funny. The cleaning services are charging like a few dollars a square foot.
Right.
So you know, my building is 6,500 square feet. If it's $1 or $2, you're talking about a $6,000 to $13,000 investment to just disinfect the surfaces. Well, it's crazy.
But you talk about too, it almost has to be a continuous thing. You think of a high traffic place like a bowling center, right? They almost need to do that in between league bowling, right? The whole thing is as your leagues are leaving and coming in, you almost want to go through and rip through and sanitize, right? Is that going to become the new normal?
I hope not.
There's no way. Number one, if that's what the new norm is, businesses aren't going to be able to afford it.
Yeah.
Two,
I don't want to go out.
if I was a smart person, I would probably be in the process of figuring out how to incorporate something in the HVAC system where you constantly are running filtration through your HVAC and forced air or forced heat. How can you eliminate most of the germs? Like I buy a very expensive filters for the office. I buy like 3M allergen filters, just at least when we're running our HVAC or our heat, we're trying to get as much of the germs out of the air, but the cure is a virus. The cure is the vaccine. The cure is developing antibodies,
Oh yeah, and that's already under play, but there's time for that, right? No one knows, is it 6 months, 12 to 18 months, or is it 2022? We all hope it's quicker. Like I said, we spoke about yesterday, that one, there was someone on one of the news stations, a woman who works as I guess the vaccinologist or whatever the term was, and she was saying if the stars align, there's the possibility everyone has it by fall, but most likely it's going to be first responders and healthcare fall, us by the rest of the people by next spring.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But if the stars align, it's kind of science is doing its thing, and now it's hoping that everything works. And maybe we get lucky and a miracle happens. You never know. But science tells us 12 to 18 months, and that's going to be the way. So now, Kevin, you're essential, right? As a defense attorney, you're considered essential, correct?
Yeah. For emergency matters such as somebody newly arrested or bail applications or something like that, my staff is not. So I've been just operating by myself, generally from home or sometimes in the office. The rest of my work is not essential, but it gets done.
Is wills and estate planning, is that considered essential at this, or?
At times it can be, and we have done remote signings of wills,
right.
And most important, powers of attorney. Powers of attorney, because anybody can get this virus, and within a day or two, all of a sudden they're in the hospital and not being able to communicate because they're on a ventilator, and whatever they have just in their own name just sits there.
Right.
So we've been counseling our clients and the public to at least have a power of attorney, so that if something, God forbid, happens to somebody and they are forced to go in the hospital or even not in the hospital, we've seen how Chris Cuomo, that you almost can't function if you really get this bad. So you need somebody to be able to handle your banking affairs, or somebody to pay the bills, or something like that. So powers of attorney are probably more critical at this stage than any other document, outside of, what you want, how your healthcare wants to be. But that's generally now in the hands of the doctors.
Right. And now, if someone commits a crime but there's no trial by jury right now, so go sit and if they do end up going to jail, they just basically go in their system and they are waiting until trial by jury comes back?
Yeah, that's it. What's really happening right now, if somebody's arrested, the courthouse is completely closed. There are maybe one or two clerks. If a case, new arraignment or a bail application, it's all done by Skype with business. The judge is at home. One clerk is in the courthouse getting the papers. The district attorneys are at home. The stenographer's at home, and it's done by that. The courts don't want to keep people in jail because basically no matter how quote unquote bad or especially nonviolent crimes, right now Rikers Island is so bad, putting someone there is tantamount almost to a death sentence. It is spread through Rikers Island because there's no social distancing. There can't be any social distancing. There's no mask for the prisoners. Very few guards have masks. And so the courts are trying to release as many people as they can. Cases have been adjourned till June, July, August. I'm not sure, when the courts are going to be open, because you got to understand also that's a big courthouse. That's got to be completely cleaned at least once, maybe 2 or 3 times before the judges feel comfortable going there. I think it changes the whole way law is practicing from now on.
And Maria asked, can a written letter stating what your wishes are be acceptable as a power of attorney?
Unfortunately, no. The laws in New York State and in New Jersey, there's a certain format that has to be followed. It's a little bit easier because we're able to do it remotely now, but it has to be in a certain format. It just can't be a handwritten thing. It has to be remotely now witnessed. The agent, the person you're given the power to, has got to sign it too remotely in front of a notary, but that can be done remotely too.
So notaries are now able to be done digitally, like over virtual?
Yeah. That was an executive order signed by both Governor Cuomo, and just in the last couple of days, Governor Murphy in New Jersey signed a similar order, because you can't have social distancing at the same time and say you can't have clients in your office at the same time be able to function and do what could be an emergency type of situation.
I think they keep notaries virtual all the time. There's nothing more annoying than when someone needs something notarized.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God. Then you got to go to find the bank, or you got to go, I think post office, right, tends to have notaries.
Sometimes. It's just hit or miss. You could go to the card store and they got a notary. You never know. The laundromat could have a notary.
Every notary, like, they charge you, right? I guess it's mandatory.
No, we do that free.
A lot of people,
I thought you had to charge for it. I
think the fee is set by statute. I don't know, but I think it's a couple of bucks or something like that.
But so if they do charge you, they can't charge over a certain amount. So they always are like, they're doing you a favor. It's like, they're always like, oh yeah, no problem. I gotta get the freaking thing out to get the. And then did you ever see the King of Queens episode where Arthur wanted to become a notary, and he's like watching them, and he gets all the paper, and he's like, all right, come in here, Douglas, sign this paper. And he turns away, and Douglas, he goes, oh, I didn't see it. Do it again. And it's a good. I love King of Queens. So Kevin, you don't typically. I know from talking to you in the past, you don't even have a TV in your house, correct?
No.
Do you have it now? What are you doing?
Well, no. I do have the laptop computer. When I get too non-depressed, I turn on the news. I get depressed and turn it off again.
Yeah, the news is definitely
you really don't even need a TV anymore with a good computer and everything.
You you read a lot, correct?
Yeah, I do. But right now, I've been taking a lot of webinars and talking to groups like this. I think I mentioned before, I think the practice of law is going to change. You're not going to have, I think judges are going to want to try to do a lot of things by Skype for business, especially in the non-criminal area. You're not going to have 50 attorneys in a room just waiting to be called and wasting time. Clients aren't going to be able to afford to spend money on attorneys just to sit in the courtroom. Judges are going to try to get rid of their calendar. The calendars are going to be so backed up. And I think businesses are going to change the way they operate too. You got to be very, it's fluid. I would hope that, people apply for the SBA loan. I know it ran out of money, but they're already talking about getting that back up within a week or two. The SBA loan, turns into a grant if you use it right. It's money.
You follow it, but it's going to be complicated, and that's why we've talked about working with an agent. You're accounting on that. We've heard people talking to want to just do it themselves. Kevin, and you went to I know where you went to college. You went to Notre Dame.
Yep. The University of
Notre Dame. I just love it because the movie Rudy. That's like one of my favorite sport movies. And then one thing that I find fascinating about Kevin that I could never do, and I found this out years ago, and I don't know if you could do this. I don't think so. I think you're like me. Kevin, we were at a networking event, and Kevin's like, oh, I'm going away tomorrow. We're like, where are you going? He goes, I don't know. He goes, I take my bags, I go to the airport, and I go to the woman at the counter, and I say, I'm looking to travel. Send me wherever you think I should go.
Pick a flight.
And I get on a plane, and I go wherever they think I should go.
That's amazing. I wish I could do that.
How is that?
That's not going to be happening for a long time.
Yeah, right.
Well, hold on a second. And I love it, but you can actually buy a ticket. Don't they do some type of screening or something now? Like when you buy a ticket?
Well, you could get that happen immediately when you buy the ticket.
Right. When you have the ticket, you have the the enhanced license and everything. You can buy a ticket at the airport.
Yeah, I have the license.
There's nothing wrong with that or anything.
Right.
Sometimes you get a better deal.
You might get special screening. They do the extra search when you go through security, but
Well, if you don't have, they can do that to anybody. And
Right.
sometimes you can get a better deal because all of a sudden
Yeah.
I want to fill up a plane or something. You can get to weird locations, but sometimes
Where's the weirdest place you've gone, Kevin, or been sent to?
I've been sent to a lot of places. Visually, oh geez, I guess one time going to the airport and I always bring my passport. And one time Iceland, just
What?
spent a week in Iceland. Only packed for a couple of days, but
you give them a
what you
budget.
do-
You say like, I want the ticket to be within this cost, or you just let them go for it.
Well, I see what they offer, what the cost is, and
Okay.
I work on that. I say, well, let's try someplace a little closer.
Mhm.
And
But a lot of times that happens.
I can never do it. I guess I'm too regimented. I need a
That's so
plan.
spontaneous. Yeah, you got to be really spontaneous type of person to do that.
And it's amazing to me that there are people that spontaneous. Like it's amazing that you have the courage to do that. I would never do that. I want to know where I'm going, what restaurant I'm eating out. I plan like the meals I'm eating out before.
I love a good surprise. I would love that. That would be like a dream date for a guy to be like, just hop on the plane. We're going somewhere.
But no,
You know,
yeah.
all right.
Yeah,
You trust and go.
Yeah, but Christina, you want the dream date like on The Bachelor, where you meet the guy in the helicopter takes you to Hawaii, and that you think.
No, I wouldn't care. I'll hop on a commercial flight with a cutie and head out somewhere for the night. What the hell? You live once.
Yeah, it's I'm able to do it because I have a good staff, and we're able to, and it's a lot easier now with communication and everything. You bring your laptop with you, you can do pretty much anything.
Mom, you could do that?
So, I mean, yeah, I probably could because I'm a survivor and I'll figure it out. But I mean, I not with the wife and kids. That's just not.
Yeah, no, definitely
By
not.
myself, can I get a bag of clothes?
Well, if that's the problem, you just send them on a different trip.
I agree.
I missed your flight, honey. I'm on this flight. It's not going to the same place. Sorry.
See you in a week.
I like my friend Frank D'Amato's comment.
Moss for mayor?
I can definitely do a better job than this idiot.
Run.
I thought you were, don't you start small? Shouldn't you run for borough president first?
No, go big or go home.
Okay. Go president.
Yeah. Be like
Listen,
Tiger King.
not that we're going to talk politics, but the day Donald Trump became president, that
Wait,
really,
I gotta hold on. You know we're not allowed to talk politics, right?
it wasn't politics. It was the fact that he became president proved the point that anybody can become the president.
Okay, that's true.
That's all I was saying. The guy, political beliefs, what he is, doesn't make a difference. A businessman became president.
Yeah.
And you know what? I don't know if a true quote unquote politician would be doing a better job or a worse job during this pandemic. And that's,
Well, the only thing I'll say in we won't really talk politics, but what's it? The Monday night quarterback or coaching?
Monday morning quarterback.
Yeah, like I get it. No one knows, right? And we'll never know if someone would do better. We all have our beliefs, but in theory, we don't know. We know, of course, what we would have done, but it's different. But we'll end on the politics right there.
We'll end on the politics. Is Frank D'Amato in? Frank D'Amato's been saying he's going to come on the show, and every time we invite him, he goes MIA.
Yeah. So everything else is good though, Kevin?
Yeah, as I said, we've been helping some businesses with their SBA and trying to develop a program that makes sure that their loan turns into a grant so they don't have to pay any money back. I try to prepare businesses for these openings. And one of the things that when your business opens, you're going to have to notify your employees about the new sick leave the policies that are in effect. So you might want to, be able to download a copy of that and just give it to them and make sure they have, they sign off they received a copy. One of the things I'm worried about for businesses is that if you don't do that, the government's going to come down with potentially significant fines. The people that are, let's say, in a different field, construction and everything, OSHA's going to be all over the place on maintaining safe work conditions. And that's going to be hard.
And social distancing is going to be a part of it. And how do you have a guy foot a ladder if you're trying to practice social distancing?
Well, you practice. I think what can happen is you practice social distancing, but you provide with masks and things like that the best you can. But you have to provide a safe environment, and that's even in an office. You were talking yourself about people working too close together. Some offices got to change, and that comes back to the flex. I mean, this is a new world, and what I'm concerned about is that employers, all of a sudden, having policies, and then all of a sudden one employee said, well, you're treating him or her differently than me. You gave them more time off. You did this. You didn't tell me this. That's why businesses have got to be prepared for that and make sure their workers, their employees know it and have recognized it. The first step may be to have keep the phones off and everything and have almost a half day or full day staff meeting on how we're going to do that. And employees, should listen to their employees too. They may have some suggestions.
Right.
It is, but you got to be consistent in whatever you do. Yep. And it got to be legal.
So on that note, Mark, do you have any questions for Kevin?
No, I mean, I think Kevin answered a lot of important things. I think the fact that, if God forbid you do get arrested, I mean, we know the golden rule: never talk to the cops until your attorney gets there, right?
Never talk to them, even when your attorney gets there. Don't talk.
I mean, I learned at a young age, that just being around a lot of friends that are in law enforcement and that are attorneys, whatever happens, lawyer. Just tell us what happened. You won't be in trouble, lawyer. No, but don't worry. Especially me. I've been, advised by legal counsel across the board from every type of attorney I know. From the Jimmy Thompsons in the world to the Mario Gallucci's, to anybody and everybody that I've ever come into contact that's an attorney. Moss, you never talk. No matter what happens, you don't say a word till someone that's representing you comes there. And that's a big takeaway from an episode from.
And Moss, that's not only in the criminal area. That's pretty much in all the areas. Even in a simple car accident or something happens on, with your client, with your employees or something, and somebody from Consumer Affairs, somebody from any agency or the insurance company talks to you, always talk to your counsel first, because your counsel can help you in in framing the answers that'll be truthful, but yet not incriminating. And so it's not only the criminal area, it's pretty much any area.
Well, I notice it a lot with corporate law. Here in our office, sometimes you get somebody that walks in, that it's, someone will come in from an agency, and there'll be, if it's the police department, consumer affairs, anybody, we're just here to ask some questions. Do you have a warrant? Are you permitted? How can I help you? Who are you? Who am I? I'm nobody. Who are you? Like I've been very, very, very well trained. Do you have a business card?
I see that.
Do you have an appointment? How can I help you? What's my name? Joe. Joe what? Joe Smith. It's very. I don't ever disclose who I am, what I am, and especially when in our business we do get a lot of people that walk in, and it's right away. No one's allowed past the reception area. We just want to speak to you behind closed doors. Do you have an appointment? I mean, I had an auditor come in from the insurance fund, and he came in, and I had a lot of fun with this. And he goes, and can I speak to the owner? I said, I'm sorry, he's not here. I said, how can I help you? He goes, well, who are you? And I said, John. He goes, John who? I said, John Doe. Right? And then he said, where are you from? He goes, I'm from the state insurance fund. I said, oh, well, that's great. I said, do you have an appointment? He goes, well, I want to speak to the owner. I said, well, I want to speak to the president, but we can't all get to where we want to go without an appointment. Do you have an appointment? He goes, well, I'm just here to talk to the owner of the company. Do you have an appointment? I mean, it was a circle. And got to the point where I said, well, if you want, leave me your card, and I'll be more than happy to schedule an appointment. So they obviously scheduled an appointment. He came back, and the guy sees me. He goes, you're the owner? I said, yeah. He goes, well, why didn't you tell me that? I said, how do I know you're not trying to kill me? Right? And he looked at me like I was crazy. I've been deposed a few times, and during some depositions, I've had a lot of fun with that too. Because when wearing multiple hats, I saw that our organization was involved in the foundation was involved in a lawsuit, and somebody was suing the organization, and I was advised by legal counsel. We had a rapid fire practice deposition, and I was well prepared for this. And they said, you are Massimo Dodana, representative of the Carl Bini Fund. You have nothing to do with Partners in Sound and all the other companies we walk into. So we're in the middle of the deposition, and they said, could you state your name? I said, Massimo. And they said, Massimo who? I said, Dodana. He goes, do you have any other AKAs? And I have about 27 of them. Massi, Massimo, Massimiliano, this and that. They said, what do you do for a living? I said, well, I'm a volunteer for the Carl Bini Fund. They said, well, how do you provide for your family? I said, how does that make a difference? I said, my wife provides for my family. He goes, how do you earn money? I said, I don't. I'm a philanthropist. I just give away money from the Carl Bini. I was advised from legal counsel that who I am in my other world has nothing to do with the pretense of what this lawsuit was. So it got to the point that after 45 minutes, that the person that was conducting the deposition said, are you going to answer the question? I'm like, I think I'm going to plead a fifth. They're like, you can't plead a fifth. You're being deposed. You can only plead a fifth in court. I said, I don't work. I'm unemployed. He goes, do you not receive a tax return? I said, what is my tax return? I went in circles for 8 hours. It was actually a lot of fun. But the bottom line is that if you're ever going to go into a situation like that, always speak to an attorney for some type of legal advice. When I received the deposition, it was 67 pages of me refusing to say what I do for a living. It just went on and on and on. It was pretty. And then I was like, how about the Yankees? And I really enjoyed them. Yeah, Kev, I was that guy. I was just because of the fact that we were dragged into a BS lawsuit, and I was just so aggravated that it got to the point, and the person that was suing us was suing us for he got hurt, but he was working for my friend's business, cash off the books, but he was out on a city job with 3/4. So I turned around and I said, do we really want to pursue with the lawsuit? I said, well, if you want to pursue the lawsuit, I can provide documentation that this person that went out on a 3/4 lawsuit, that on a disability lawsuit, is working for someone I know. And if you want, I could come back with video and all of that I said, we're on the record. I just want to make sure, right?
Yeah.
For some reason, the lawsuit went away and never came back. But we had a lot of fun with it. But that's about it. That's all I got.
Christina's choking. That's all you have, Mas? Don't worry.
A lot of good stories, but no, actually, believe it or not, I wanted to be an attorney. That's what I really, really, really wanted to do.
I can see that.
I wanted to be a criminal defense attorney.
My mom always told me I should have been a lawyer too.
Why don't you intern under Kevin? He'll take you under his wing.
Yeah.
I tried a couple of colleges. College school wasn't my thing.
Yeah, that's the shitty part.
I know.
Yeah.
No, law I find interesting, but sitting through classes that were just like, am I really doing this?
Yeah, exactly.
What a waste of time. And it just wasn't.
Well, now they're all on video or Skype, so you can't, just pretend you're there, you don't pay attention, and you get through it.
Apparently, I have a friend that's a teacher, and she's doing these like online classes and things, and she can't even like leave her desk for more than like 15 minutes because she'll get logged out, and like the principal will know. It's like a thing. They have to be like there. Like it's
it knows when you're not there.
Yeah.
Like, I could put a program on your computer that if you don't use it, it automatically like alerts, locks you out.
Mm-hmm. Well, it does anyway, so.
It doesn't alert me.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's ways to do it. And then the same way with students, there's actually software that makes a student watch with a webcam and knows he's looking at the screen and engaging. And if they're not engaging,
that's some robot shit, man.
If I was like this,
nope, you basically will mark you out.
Wow.
out for the cat.
And then what are they going to do? Say, we're going to talk to your mother and father who are right there with it.
Crazy. Well,
Kevin, we're going to send you home. Okay.
Oh, they'll send them to school.
Yeah.
Kevin, anything you want to bring up before we let you go?
Well, I just want to thank everybody. Thank you for the invite, Mas, Mike.
Thank you,
Zena. These are difficult times, but they can be challenging. Businesses can develop new ways of operating. Just going to have to be careful as we start to open up, which we're eventually going to have to do.
Absolutely.
And be careful. Again, stress that for businesses, they got to operate, they got to survive. Two things. One, even if you haven't done it, apply for the SBA loan that can turn into a grant. And two, take a look at your business insurance policy. The insurance company is going to tell you that this is not covered under business interruption insurance. Two things. One, it may be. Two, the contracts are written by the insurance company so that any ambiguity is going to be used against them. And that's not even for that clause, it's for the entire contract. Third, there's legislation pending both in New York and New Jersey and in other states to say that businesses should at least have to cover part, the insurance companies should at least have to cover part of this business interruption insurance. So you want to file a claim, your insurance policy will tell you how to do that. Anybody has any questions, they can contact me, but you won't want to be aced out. You want to file a claim and you want to keep a record of how much business you have lost during this time period, especially since even before the shutdown order, because there have been companies that people being afraid of catching the virus didn't show up to work. So you want to keep track of how much business you did lose. So if you're able to have substantiate a claim, you'll have a real record of that. So there are opportunities there, and the most important thing is be careful, because no matter what you do, if you're not safe and you get sick, it doesn't really matter.
Right. Definitely.
I heard a great phrase yesterday. There's no Brink. You can't take any Brinks. The Brinks truck can't follow you to the next life.
No.
That's right.
There's no Brinks trucks in front of the funeral homes. So
they go right to Moss's house.
Someone's got to take the money. Kevin, thank you so much for being a guest today. I think it's time to wrap up. We're just approaching the 4 o'clock hour. I want to go over some just a few things with our guests and sign off until next week. Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you.
Thanks, Kevin.
Thank you.
Be safe.
Thank you. Be safe. Be safe, everyone.
You too.
Very informative. Yeah, I see Kevin. Kevin's always out. It's amazing. He's how old is Kevin?
I don't know.
I forgot to ask him on the show, but yeah, he's always
there.
out.
Hold on. How old are you,
He's
Kevin?
always out. Yep.
Oh, geez. No, I'll answer any question but that. Look at it. The next time I have to go to quarantine, I'm bringing a barber with me. I don't care about anything else.
You
All
look
right.
great.
He's not answering that, so he's 21 plus.
21 plus.
All right. We'll see you later, Kevin.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Bye-bye. Well, yeah, no, he's out and about, man. He's got more energy than Todd.
Right?
Why Todd doesn't come in?
So now Gotham, Todd's off on Tuesdays, he's off on Thursdays, and he's off all day Friday. He's the busiest unemployed man I know.
He's getting all this work from all these live shows because he's forgetting us. He's dropping us out. He don't like us.
So I think it's important to just recap a little bit of the week and a little bit of the day. So what did we? Let's recap a little bit. We had a lot of great guests this week. The new normal. I hope not.
Did you see this?
I did not.
You want me to play a minute of it or no?
No, we'll probably lose the guest that we have. So
All right.
So we had a lot go on this week, right? We started quarantine going to like May 1st. Now we're going to May 15th. We went from, we're never going to be allowed out of our house ever again to Trump's now opening up states. What else do we got? Let's just kind of recap.
He is not opening up states.
He's giving government the authority.
It's up to the governors, yes.
So we had some guests that asked us for some specific needs. What? Why are we shaking my head?
No, because for some reason it always makes me blurry, and I gotta do.
Okay.
Try and refocusing it.
I think it has to do with the light. Yeah.
It's lighting definitely messes with the webcams. So from a lot of great organizations stepped up right this week. Right, we saw some of our first responders be fed. We saw a lot of great job by community coming out at 7 o'clock every night. Supporting our medical community. What else do we have go on? I mean, our organization, the Beanie Fund, partnered with On Your Mark to provide some stimulus to some businesses to give out some meals. I think we're giving out, let's calculate that.
You did Richmond County, the fire truck?
Oh, we got that. We gave out 4. So we gave out, let's see, 44 times 10. We gave out 440. I think the article's hitting today. 440 $25 gift cards to 10 businesses that can use some financial support between a unique partnership with the Call Beanie Fund and what was On Your Mark's idea. We jumped on board. I think the press release went out today. We were able to help the Richmond County Richmond Engine on Richmond Road to repair their apparatus floor. What else? We did a lot of good stuff. What else did we do this week, Mike?
Was last week is when you did the mask? Yeah, that was last
That
week.
was last Tuesday. Wow, it feels like an eternity ago. Our show's rocking and rolling. We see a lot of people starting to do stuff like this, so we were definitely innovative. We came up with a cool way to do some virtual solutions for some schools that are looking for some other options. A lot of good stuff. We spoke. I had a great meeting with virtual. I had a phone call with Richmond University, Staten Island University. We recapped that a little bit. That they can. They're looking for this negative pressure machines or negative pressure rooms, ranging from $2,800 to $20,000 to $30,000. Rolling out a lot of campaigns. SBA ran out of money. What else we got, Mike?
You did a lot.
We did a lot.
I got Clorox wipes this week.
How much did you pay for that for one of those? I went somewhere before while I was running late, and I actually walked into a business and ripped the guy to no end.
So it's a 3-pack. They were $15.
They were charging $25 the canister.
That needs to be reported for gouging.
No, I reported it myself. I went there and told the guy that's
Report it, because that's price gouging. Like, I get it.
Is $3 for a roll of toilet paper gouging? Because I paid that, and I was like, "This is not normally $3." I know what this guy's doing. I was
what type of toilet paper? Like a crap toilet paper?
Crap toilet paper.
Yeah, they're usually like $1 a roll, but
$3 a fucking roll.
But
I mean, so, and what else did we do? We did a lot of cool stuff. Oh, shout out to the South Shore Bid. They gave out 5,000 masks. They were $10 at Labella for one. Wow. So, I mean, and guys, I will say this, being part of the supply chain through Montalbano's, things are definitely, being increased in price, right? Markets are, production is slowing down, and it's not a shortage, it's just personnel, right?
There's a difference between $10 for a disinfectant wipe and $25 for a can for a disinfectant wipe.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. And people don't realize, they'll remember that, right? So when it's all said and done and everything's back to normal, you tried to gouge me, you're going to be the last place I'm going to come to. And when things are right, I'm going to go to the people who didn't gouge me. So
you want to hear something funny, Mike? Throughout all of the projects that we're working on, and we gained some viewership. So maybe if everybody wants to share, as we recap the week a little bit, masks, surgical masks. I was able to secure them at about a little bit less than $1 a mask. And people have asked me, "Hey, Moss, where do I get them?" And I put them right in contact with my supplier. I have not, I thought it was unethical. So on the part of me was saying, maybe we should have added 10 cents a mask or 20 cents a mask and try to, do something to make some money. But, it is what it is, right? We just got to do what we can and just be there for our community, do the right thing. As business owners, I feel that, we have a moral obligation to our community and to our employees and to our staff and to ourselves to do the right thing. There's nothing wrong with making money, guys. That's what makes. No,
there's absolutely nothing wrong with making money, but you also don't want to take advantage of people and kick them while they're already down. You want to do the right thing for people.
100%. And I think it's important to do the right thing. And I mean, I try to do the right thing every day. I get up every day, and I just say, today's going to be a good day. And then by the time I'm done with the show, my head is flying in a million directions. But
did anyone piss you off by noon today?
Yeah, I gotta, I'm definitely, I'm not as happy as I was for breakfast with Bloomy. So, Go Green Building Supply is the one selling the K9 5 for $30. I had no choice, need to go out and work.
Is that expensive though? $6
a mask? Yeah, I mean, it is expensive. I mean, for what's going on right now in the world, no, $5-6. I mean, is relatively a fair price to stay safe. I mean, they're probably like $1. I mean, I don't know how much they are normally, guys. I don't even think I have an idea. I don't have any need to. Wholesale prices are up for everything, so unfortunately, I have to pass it along, but can't get crazy. Of course, I mean, I could tell you, like eggs, milk, all that stuff is up. Why is it up? Who knows? Someone along the line is making a few dollars, but that's part of life, right?
Gas is cheaper.
Gas is cheaper.
Gas is the last I saw is like almost $1.50 or something. It's cheap. I don't go out.
I haven't filled up this week yet, but
I haven't filled up in a month.
Well, you don't leave. You're scared to leave your house. But
I'm not scared. I'm safe. I was told to stay home. The governor told me to stay home and don't leave. I don't leave.
If the government told you to jump off a bridge, would you?
If there's a reason to it, and jumping off the bridge is going to bring safety to me, yes, I would.
Mike, think about what you just said. You're relatively smart.
How do you know I'm jumping off the bridge and there's not a big cushion there?
Because we would a cushion. Right. It's definitely not saving me or you at 200 feet.
I actually have to go to my office today to get some stuff, and I'm starting to get the shakes and a little nervous.
Are you serious?
If we're going to be honest.
Why?
I'm not. I'm not really actually nervous. I do have to go to my office. I have to get some checks. I have to cut some checks and mail out. I got to go pick up some milk from Nicole's cousin. So I actually have to get out of my house for like a half an hour. But even like going to my office, gloves, mask, I will go in, disinfect, anti-bac, because there's people in and out of the common area, right? We spoke with the yesterday, Dave and his workers. There's workers there. There's cleaning people. Upstairs, there's an apartment where a nurse lives. So that's really that throws me for a spin. Is there's a nurse that lives above me, and she touches
a nurse
handle that I do. Now, of course, she knows better than anybody. Wash your hands, and by the time she gets home, but still, I get nervous. What do you say? I am a loyal Democrat. That's nice, Vinny. We don't talk about politics. Ignore Moss. So I do play it safe when I go to the office. Even my mail, I disinfect any mail I get. Like I open the envelope outside my house and then I wipe the checks down with disinfectant.
Why don't you just open your mail with gloves?
Because then you open if it's on your glove and then you touch the envelope, the letter or the check, you now spread it to the check. So it's like a clean room. You gotta all the packages I open up outside my house. It's like a whole process. That's why.
So happy I don't live with you.
But that's why this is so funny, because this is exactly what these people like.
Okay, bye. Guys, thanks for hearing my proposal. I look forward to hearing from you. All right, see ya.
This is my family that does this.
All right, folks, that's your family. A couple of months, right? It's Carrie's birthday. Tell us a happy birthday. Okay, I was here.
Oh, it's taco night, guys. It's gonna be good.
That's me back from the grocery store.
Correct?
That's ridiculous.
I don't go that far. Come on.
Hey, this ain't for you.
Oh, thanks.
This is me. So,
Honey, I'm gonna get a beer with Chris. Yeah, with all this sitting on my butt, I think I'm getting hemorrhoids. What? I think I'm getting hemorrhoids. Steroids? No, fissures in my bottom. You going fishing tomorrow? Hemorrhoids!
Look, honey, I'm on TikTok now.
Yeah, Mike, this is like American Pie humor, and like,
the best is looking at his face. He just like, I really.
It's ridiculous, Mike.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Ridiculous. There's been 1,000 fucking diseases before this, and there's gonna be 1,000 diseases after this. And just practice normal behavior. Wash your hands. Antibacterial. I'm gonna go on the record and saying this is the reason why we have Corona.
What?
It's not even why?
Why? Because everybody's so fucking obsessed with every 2 seconds that they turn around and they build no fucking antibodies. And I'm not a doctor, and I'm not, I'm way above my fucking pay grade. But you want me to go on a rant? I'm going to go on a rant. Okay? You know what? Growing up, I drank out of a fucking hose. Okay, we played hockey in front of the house.
I drank out of a hose.
Out of a hose. I never got sick. Okay, yeah. If I fucking fell in the street and I was bleeding, you know what I did? I wiped it off and I kept playing. Right?
I rubbed dirt in it.
Okay, and you know what? And at the end of the day, I survived. I'm 38 years old. It's okay, guys. If I was eating a sandwich in front of my house and it fell on the floor, I picked it up and I ate it. I didn't die. Like, you guys got to fucking stop. No, it's really ridiculous. It's ridiculous because everybody's so fucking obsessed. Antibacterial this, that, scared of this, scared of that. And you know what? Enough. But it's amazing. Everyone's worried, right? Everyone's worried. 3 fucking drinks. Guys are going home with this who is going home with that guy. But that's okay. We're not worried about that because we had 3 drinks. But all of a sudden, I got to disinfect my mail? Come on, guys. Get the fuck out of here. Get out of here with this nonsense. Am I wrong?
No, you're right. I agree.
You're having a couple of drinks, 2 minutes later, you're tongue down this girl's throat. Wait, that's that's okay. Come on, guys, what are we doing?
Disinfecting my mail. That's what I'm doing.
Okay? And everyone's so scared of germs that
I'm
everyone's
disinfecting my soap, boss.
What?
I gotta disinfect my soap, all right?
Am I wrong? Come on. Listen, I get it. I get it. It's just common sense.
See, I guess it's different. And like, if it was me and Nicole, I guess it would be different. But it's like, I feel like I have my kids and I don't want to, the last thing I want to do is see them sick. So it's like, if I lived with myself, it would have been totally different.
Nobody wants, listen to me. Nobody wants to see anybody sick.
Of course. I know. I'm not saying you do.
Or a 100-year-old person. But,
Right.
think about this. Years ago, I mean, people ate things that they weren't supposed to eat. Meat, pork,
Right.
raw, this and that. And they didn't die.
Well,
we're in a different world today, but I think part of the problem is that, people are so crazy with this antibacterial, so crazy that they stopped, I guess maybe people became so nuts with this that they stopped developing the natural.
Right. But understand, too, we didn't understand science. So if you want to take a pandemic and compare it, the Spanish flu killed 50 million people. Because we didn't understand and didn't have antibacterial gelling, Lysol, and this. So by you having these are our defenses, right? So we have them, so why not use them? So if getting a package takes my risk from, even if it's the tiny 2% down to 0.02%, for me to wipe it before I bring it in, why not? Why take the 2% risk if I have 0.02%? Does it suck? Do I live in this crazy life right now that a fucking package comes in? Yeah, I'm mental, right? I have my little things. Like, this is and now understand from me, most people don't know, many years ago, I was a hypochondriac. So I really, but really bad, but I'm not anymore. Like I'm actually, other than
I'm fine.
Please, if years ago it would have been really bad, so it would have been like torture for me. Like, I'm just trying to be safe, and that's all.
Yeah.
Mike, no one's saying not to be safe,
Right?
Yeah.
but the fact that you're scared to go to your office to write a check is mind-boggling. I'm sorry. Okay, let's all put our masks on. We're going to work. Let's all go. Let's put our masks on. This is fucking ridiculous.
It is. My mask broke when I walked to the store before, and I was walking around with it hanging off my face.
I wore this mask all day last Tuesday. Giving out all the supplies. Do you know my throat's been hurting since last Tuesday?
Oh God, I know, but you said from breathing, right?
That's what they say. I'm just trying to say, guys, be normal. That's it. Just be normal. Be normal. Wash your hands. You go to the bathroom, wash your hands.
How could I trust you? I can't listen to you. You like peanut butter.
God. And that is our Friday show, ladies and gentlemen.
That's another thing. So I like peanut butter.
Look at this. This is what we get now on Midday with Maz.
Meet a girl, wear a condom, pump gas, use a glove.
Great. Thanks.
What
I just figured that out, Mike.
To be what? Figure out that I'm a hypochondriac, or was?
I mean, like I said, guys, ultimately, we're going to get through this.
Of course we will.
Why are we taking these matters? We're taking these matters to try to limit exposure. But the bottom line is, we can't do this every year. We can't every year. We can't turn around and be, there's something going on and just lock everyone in their house. Because I want to know one thing: how many people are going to commit suicide? How many people are going to get divorced? How many people are going to? Because it's. I'm sorry. I love my wife. I love my kids. If I had a
doesn't matter. 24/7.
24/7, 7 days a week. People have actually told my wife, "Oh, your husband really hates you guys that much that he leaves you guys every day? And Desiree's been like, Mas and I have been together like 20 years. Mas wakes up,
That's ridiculous.
drops the kids off at the bus, goes to work. We don't talk. I don't text all day. I'm not that guy. I think the last text message, last text message from my wife was
When I had my sidekick.
yesterday, 4:46. Going to buy some cool cloth masks, red or black. My response, don't care. Before that, she had a problem with the cameras. Her phone, she updated her phone. Do you have the password? Not, hey babe, I miss you.
Well, yeah, I would assume so. After 20 years of being together, you're not going to be lovey-dovey. Like.
Before that, Tuesday, I said, send me a picture. I want to do the teacher thing. Like, hey, can you on the way? Babe, on the way home, can you stop and pick up a prescription at Walgreens?
When you hang up the phone, you say I love you.
Always.
You do. Okay.
I talk to her. I love you too. You know what? And we can be screaming at each other. Fuck you, man. Whatever. You're an asshole. I love you. Goodbye. Click. Because if that's the last time you talk to me,
right.
And maybe I'm crazy for that.
No, look, I always say I love you to my wife when we finish the conversation. Yeah. And I get so used to it. Sometimes I say I love you to random employees and workers.
Oh, I listen. I tell people now. I mean, with everything going on the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, but I sometimes I actually I'll be like talking to people like, all right, see you, love you, bye. And Nicole's like, you told Josh you love him, right? I was like, okay, I guess I love him.
Well, there's nothing wrong with it.
No. All right,
there's my rant.
I gotta go disinfect some packages outside my house. I love you.
Do me a favor. Don't do it.
I'll link them.
Just open the package. Really?
I haven't been using gloves. I've been opening them and then just washing my hands after. So that's a plus. In the beginning, I was using gloves and not even now I'm opening them and washing after.
Oh, wait, hold on. And these idiots with the fucking antibacterial on the gloves. Just throw out the glove.
What? Who's putting antibacterial gel on gloves?
People put antibacterial on their gloves.
Take the glove.
I saw that at CVS. The guy squirted antibacterial right onto his glove, the worker. I was like, one or the other, not both. Like,
hold on.
That's the purpose.
Desiree's calling. Hold on. Yes. I'm on my show. Okay. Alrighty. Love it.
Love you.
I'm sorry that we're going to put so there's a shortage of antibacterial. So we're going to use antibacterial on the gloves. Throw out the glove.
Yeah.
I don't do that. I just take the glove off and throw it out.
At the COVID center, that's what they were doing. Doing what, Dave? Antibacterial on the glove?
Maybe for healthcare, it makes sense.
Listen, I'm not a healthcare professional. Yeah. I'm an unemployed DJ that doesn't DJ.
That does rants on Facebook. I'm just saying, I'm sorry. My beliefs are different than the average person. I'm a regular guy. When this is over, I'm going to put my hand out and shake people's hand. If you don't want to shake my hand, whatever. I'll shake your hand, but it might have antibacterial gel on it.
When I see, I went to my mother and father's house on Sunday and didn't kiss my mother and father hello.
That's weird.
Fucked up. It's not weird. It's fucked up. It's a fucked up situation.
Yep.
Right? I'm sorry. Just
I agree with you. I agree. The fact that my in-laws and my mom can't come to visit my daughter, it's fucked up. I get it.
It's okay, but it just when this thing passes, when I see people hello, I'm going to give them a hug hello. I'm going to give them a kiss hello. And if they're like, no, I'm good, what do you want me to tell you? It is what it is. I'm not going to sit there and not talk to you no more. That's your beliefs. But right. I think that was enough.
That was enough.
So if I can leave everybody with this note, the Beanie Fund, we are going to work hard this weekend and come up with some cool campaigns. Some other organizations reached out to me, thanking me for getting to the bottom of the exact needs and what we can do to try to just make our community a little bit better with, the hospital situation and stuff. So as usual, I'm on it. That's what
All
I
right.
do.
And then join us on Monday, Breakfast with Bloomy. We'll be back.
Yep.
Have a great weekend. Thank you, Mas, for everything you did this week with Call Bingy Fund, and you're going to continue this weekend. Christina, thank you for everything.
What did Christina do?
Wait, Christina.
Christina showed up. Technically speaking, she deserves a raise. She was here more than Todd.
I don't pay Todd. Todd owns his own business. Where is Todd?
Todd, we haven't even heard from him all day, right?
Todd? Hold on.
Actually, he emailed me back before, but
Let me make sure. I want to make sure I didn't step on him. Hold on. Todd? Todd, you in there? Todd? Todd, you in there? Todd, you in? Todd.
all right. It's over.
It's over. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you Monday, 10 a.m.
Woohoo!